The heat is beginning to build into British Columbia, and there's a low that's been hammering up into the Alaska Gulf for a number of days that is now trying to make its way in through northern Canada. When it does so, it's going to introduce a lot of heavy winds to the Peace region up to Fort Nelson, in through all the way across Western Canada, really, as it goes. So this will be a major wind event, not just for British Columbia, but a red flag fire warning for a number of regions to the east of us. There is the hope that some of this low might dump some precipitation on at least Manitoba, hopefully Saskatchewan. See my last video for that. Let's talk about British Columbia, though. We got a statement from British Columbia Wildfire Service regarding the extreme wind potential leading into Friday. Let's go. There it is. This is bad news.
My God. I didn't think it happened.
Get off! Wow. I'll watch the video later. Hey, try mopping this. From British Columbia Wildfire Service, they have just put out a statement an hour ago. We are anticipating a challenging 3-day period for the Dawson Creek, Fort St. John, Fort Nelson fire zones beginning Friday, June 6, 2025. I think the uptick will start a little bit earlier, actually, on Thursday. Following a period of warm, dry conditions, incoming cold fronts will bring local wind gusts up to 70 kilometers an hour. That will be the worst on Friday, driving extreme weather, fire behavior, and growth towards the east on all wildfires in this region. Fires are going to push east. Conditions will change rapidly. Please stay informed. Okay, for your safety, it's critical to follow the evacuation orders as well. Significant wildfires impacted by this weather system include the Kiskatnaw River wildfire, Summit Lake, that's G90413, and Pocket Knife Creek G80352 wildfires. We have a number of evacuation orders and alerts into the Peace region of BC, of course. That would include the Fontas area, Fort Nelson First Nation who are affected there, people in the Kiskatnaw River that are affected, and the Tetsa River area as well in the Northern Rockies. Although it's not showing it greatly here yet, I think it's possible that the winds could start picking up on Thursday even, get a little breezier on Thursday ahead of the low. Although the main threat is coming Friday. Starts up at the Yukon, Northwest Territories, and British Columbia border first, and slides its way back down the backside this low. Also affected will be Alberta. If you live in Alberta, we do have some news for you on that. Winds are coming for you as well, but of course they come in British Columbia first. That'll affect these guys. We have a couple fires up that way that are more into the Rockies and more into the interior. They'll be affected first. You can see where that wind's coming through. You can see how that south end of this little pocket is going to be hitting hard into the Kiskatnaw River fire. You can guess from that which direction the winds will want to be going at that point. They'll be changing a couple different directions as they come through over the course of this event. So there's been this low that's been slamming up there into the Alaska Panhandle, bringing atmospheric river conditions and whatnot up there over the last bunch of days. We've been talking about it on the channel because we were wondering how it was going to come ashore, how much it would push down, or whether our high pressure would kind of bounce it more to the north. It looks like our high pressure system is one. But as you can see, as these lows try to establish themselves up in the territories and Alaska, everything on the south end of them is wind, 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 wind. You can see that increasing already Thursday, according to the ECMWF model, for areas south of Fort St. John, along the Rocky Mountains and whatnot, up above Fort Nelson where our fire is there, gusting 50 kilometers an hour. These aren't steady winds in this model. These are gusts, but I think the gust map is more colorful, so it really allows us to see where the winds are going to be more effectively. You can imagine that the steady winds will be considerably lower. However, this is just coming into Friday. We can already see that Kiskatnaw fire might be taking wind gusts that are pretty strong at times. Okay, as we come into Friday morning, now you can see that low is now over Great Slave Lake, the backside all on the Yukon and BC border from, all the way Atlin over on up to the Alaska Highway and on Watson Lake and whatnot. The winds are getting big early in the morning for the Fort Nelson fires. We got a couple fires in this region. I'm pretty concerned about them. Well, so Fort Nelson, look at these strong winds. Look at these strong winds. Fort St. John, look at these strong winds Friday all day long. This is brutal. This is terrible. This is really bad news for everybody there for all these fires. We'll rewind a little bit and let you see these wind gusts again. But again, hitting up to these big fires first we got up there, and then making their way on down the line, coming down the Rockies, spreading on out on the backside of this low. And this behavior is going to continue across Western Canada as it goes. You can see winds already picking up Friday in Saskatchewan. This is terrible. I mean, I just made a big, long video about them, and I didn't really even talk about that too much yet because we still don't really know where this low is going. So there's a secondary story there about rain and whatnot. But as you can see, all the fires in Alberta are going to be able to take a big run into the wind. We have pretty hot temperatures into British Columbia for Saturday, for example. And it's not bad on the Alberta side. Look at these strong winds now through Saskatchewan on Saturday. Major wind events going to be challenging those fires too. Yeah, definitely. Now, if this low, though, can sink down here like the ECMWF model is showing, it'll also bring rain onto these guys. So that's what we're hoping is that low tightens up, that there's some rain in the story for Saskatchewan and Manitoba. Tomorrow, we're going to look at that more closely. But here comes the next low on in after that. It's trying to make its way in, and Sunday it makes its way in. There's going to be secondary wind events coming after this. This isn't the only one. This is the only one that BC Wildfire Service has kind of on the board for now, or maybe they're referring to this to all the way to Monday. Maybe when they say 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, well, that's not 3 days. So I think they should probably extend it, and they most likely will if that secondary low goes on through. Low after low after low. That has been the story. We've seen a lot of growth in these fires in northern BC. Like these guys will definitely be seeing that wind first. Northern Rockies mountain protected area, going to be seeing those winds first. Same with up here at 90216 and 90365. They'll be seeing those fires wind first. Up by Trout Lake there, you're going to see some fires there that grow. In the fires down south in the piece today, seen fires along these guys, all along this bent here to the east of Prophet River that we looked at yesterday. Seen a lot of heat detected on the satellite here at 70422 Kiskatinaw River. Wildfires showing a lot of activity there. So definitely they're already hot. So there's always that threat now that they can do much, much more. Now there's been a fire report in Okanagan Falls, but I don't see any heat detected on here yet. So either the satellite hasn't passed or it's not very big. But we can see that fire weather index is looking high tomorrow for the piece. So they're already in active burning. They're going to continue to burn. Southern BC, especially the southeast, getting worse. And then the whole swath across like Western Canada right into northern Ontario seeing active fire weather conditions. Until you're in northern Manitoba, they get a little bit of a break. Duff moisture code, really bad for northern BC. The drought code will correspond. Same with Saskatchewan and Manitoba. They'll dry out pretty quickly. So the depth of the soils may not be as wet as we'd like to have seen in some of these fires in the north. They'll start to dry out fairly quickly, I would think. But a little further south, we're into the extremes. We're into the extremes in the depth moisture code. The caribou is starting to get worse. The low areas of southern BC are starting to get worse. Drought code, really bad through Saskatchewan, really bad in the Northwest Territories, that corner of Alberta, like we've seen. Pretty bad in the Chilcotin and South Caribou, bad through sections of southern BC. Manitoba, a little bit of improvement, but that will be dependent on how much rain they get in this next system if they keep improving. So the initial spread index is actually pretty low today. The ISI values are fairly low through a lot of places, not so much in parts of Alberta. But on the whole, this is the lowest we've seen the ISIs in a number of days in Saskatchewan and Manitoba especially. Then we look at our buildup index for Thursday. We see that northern BC looking very dry, very hot. Slave Lake looking very dry. We can see the very dry conditions still. The buildup index, all fuels, moisture code, drought code, everything put together. We can see it's climbing up in Manitoba. We can see it's still pretty bad in southern BC. But as we saw, a lot of our fires in northern BC showing growth, showing activity. You can always go to BC Wildfire Dashboard and find out more. Let's see if this Okanagan Falls fire has been reported or not. That was going on down south. Yes, we got a new fire dot here at least. That's not the Okanagan Falls one. What do we have? K4, discovered June 4th, 0.7 hectares. It's being held. So that's good news there. I saw that Castanet was posting some stuff on it, but it's being held already. So that's good news. They got to it quickly. And what do we have up north of Kamloops here? We have another one on the go. K20500 with some moderate and high danger there discovered today. It's spreading. I wonder what caused this one kind of out there. I don't know if they know yet, though. It's kind of early. Suspected cause is humans. Oh, wow. We got 800 meters east of Cherry Bluff is where this one is. So some humans have done this. Out of control so far. Out in Cherry Bluff, right on the highway. Look at that. I had no idea. Just reported. Updated there at 6:35 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Well, that's kind of the skinny so far on what we're looking at. We know that the heat's coming. I already made a forecast for that, so make sure you check my forecast, my other videos. You go to my page there and check videos. See all the different things that Joey only makes. I would appreciate more views on this channel all the time. Thank you very much. Hit like, share, subscribe, and become a member if you want to support me there. I really appreciate all the support I already get. Thanks very much, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Bye now.